When you think of Fort Lauderdale, what's the first thing that comes to mind? The beaches, the boating, Joe Vero, Elbow Room, all plenty of valid options, but it's so much more than that. When people talk about Fort Lauderdale, they talk about the greater Fort Lauderdale area. So this is true Fort Lauderdale, but the greater Fort Lauderdale area is all of this. It's essentially Broward County. And I will say all the cities within the greater Fort Lauderdale area are vastly different, but similar at the same time. So let's go through them. So obviously we have Fort Lauderdale, which is the staple. So your downtown area, it's a major city. You have the waterways, the beach. Then we get into Wilton Manors, which is Fort Lauderdale's LGBT plus capital. Then Oakland Park. So if you love Fort Lauderdale, but you don't love the prices, Oakland Park's gonna be the spot for you. Then we get into Lauderdale by the Sea, which might be one of the best small beach towns in all of South Florida. Then Pompano, which is absolutely booming. If I had to invest, I'd probably invest in Pompano. Then we have Lighthouse Point, which is like Pompano's fancier older brother who knows how to dress and all that because it's all on the water. Then we have Deerfield Beach for those who love Boca but don't love the Boca prices. Then we get west of 95 and we start talking about our suburbs. So let's start off with Parkland, which is kind of similar to that of Boca. You have a lot of country club communities within it, plus some larger homes and some larger lots. Then we have Coral Springs, the city with everything under the sun. Coconut Creek, which is very similar to Coral Springs, and it's actually the butterfly capital of the world. Then we get into Margate, Tamarack, and Lauderdale, which kind of all get lumped into each other. Sunrise, where we have the Sawgrass Mills Mall, the largest single-story outlet mall in Florida, plus the Ameribank Arena, where the Florida Panthers play. Then we get into Weston, and the way I think about Weston is just a ton of parks and master plan communities, but it's an awesome place to live, plus very easy to get around. Southwest Ranches, honestly, I would live in Southwest Ranches. Every home's on over an acre. Large homes, you can have a home gym, a pool with a grotto, a bar. Like, you would never see me again if I lived out in Southwest Ranches. Then we get into Plantation, which is a great suburb of Fort Lauderdale. Actually, a lot of people who love Fort Lauderdale but want the suburb life opt to live in Plantation. Then we have Davie, which is technically a cowboy town because there is a lot of equestrianism, and it's also a college town as well because Nova Southeastern is there. We have Cooper City, which a lot of people kind of sleep on, but it does have some great schools. Then we have Pembroke Pines, which is massive because you have East Pines, which is everything east of 75, West Pines, everything west of 75, and it is massive. Tons of parks, great communities, plus a ton of things to do, whether it's food, gym, strip centers, like you name it, it's out there. Almost done, I promise. Then we get into Hollywood and Hollandale, which I feel like have been overlooked by developers for a while now, but they're finally starting to come in here and develop some of these luxury condos. And then last but not least, we have Dania Beach, which is actually Broward County's first city and one of the most slept on and quiet beaches in all of South Florida.